If you clicked on this video, that means that you're interested in microneedling specifically at home. And guess what? It was a little bit of a clickbait title because today I'm going to talk to you about why you should not microneedle at home. So I'm not one for a clickbait title, but I felt like this is a very necessary one because the people who tend to watch my channel already know that I don't love the idea of microneedling at home. So I was trying to get people who are actually Googling how to microneedle at home and the results that you're gonna get. So I want to clear some stuff up. I love microneedling. I think you see wonderful results from it, but I prefer to leave that to the professionals to get this done as a treatment at an esthetician's office, a med spa, or even better at a dermatologist's office because it is a controlled environment and they have all of the proper protocols in place. I know that microneedling can seem like it's not that big of a deal. What's the worst thing that can happen? And there is no doubt that if you microneedle at home, chances are you're gonna see some results. But the same thing could be said of lots of other types of topicals that you're using. You're definitely gonna see some results with microneedling, but there are also other issues that you could face, and those issues could be long lasting or some of them even permanent. So let's talk about it. If you're not familiar with microneedling and what the benefits of it are, you're essentially taking a tool or a device that has really tiny needles on it, and those needles can be of different gauges or different sizes, but you're taking a tool that has these little needles on it and you're using it to cause micro injuries on your skin. And what those little micro injuries do is they signal to your skin to heal itself. So it's causing your skin to suddenly reproduce and regenerate. It's basically wound healing. And what that does is it stimulates collagen production and even hyaluronic acid production in our skin because we actually do produce that naturally. It's what gives us that nice bounce and hydration to our skin, but from the inside. So a lot of the time when we're using even like active ingredients, we're trying to stimulate collagen production, but it's even easier to do that if you have a treatment like microneedling. This kind of a treatment is great for people that have any type of scarring, whether that's acne scarring, stretch marks, anybody who has fine lines or wrinkles that they want to try to reduce. This also helps kind of like plump up that area so you have less wrinkles. It even helps with people that have sagging skin if you want better elasticity, or if you just want better texture and tone to your skin, microneedling is great. So it's an all-around really wonderful treatment for any issues that you're dealing with your skin, but you have to be very careful with it. I also want to point out there are several different types of tools that can be considered microneedling tools. There are stamps, there are derma rollers, which I think tend to be the most popular microneedling tool that's used at home. And then there are even pens that tend to be used more by professionals. So far, it seems like I've probably sold you on microneedling. I go and get it done at either my esthetician's office, a dermatologist's office. I've even had it done at plastic surgeons' offices. I think it's a really wonderful treatment for your skin. And for someone like me, I am approaching 40. It's a great treatment for my skin. It really helps give me a lot of the benefits that I'm looking for, and it's not too intense of a treatment. So I really, really like it. But let's get to the reasons now why I don't do this at home. The first reason why you don't want to microneedle at home is you might not be the proper candidate for it. Surprise, not everybody has the same skin and not everyone's going to react the same way. If you go see a professional and you say you want to do microneedling, there's a chance that they're going to look at your skin and be like, you're not the person that's gonna have the right reaction to this. We instead think you should do X treatment. So you wanna keep that in mind. And just because a professional says that you are a candidate for microneedling, it doesn't mean that you'll know the gauge that you need of the needles, and you don't know the depth that you need the needles to go. Point number 2 is the online marketplace for these tools is unregulated. And that is a big deal because the tools that are being used by a professional are completely different than the ones that you're finding, say, on Amazon. Here's a good example of that. This is a derma rolling tool and it was $5 on Amazon. First off, that's really cheap. I don't know if you should trust it. I'm definitely not gonna use this on my skin. I just wanted to show it to you. So it comes packaged as if it's sealed off and sanitized and ready to go, but that doesn't mean that it is. Is there anywhere on here that says that it's properly sanitized, that's sterile? First off, that could be just a gimmick, making it look like it's sterilized. Second, it says that it's a 0.25 millimeter gauge, but you don't really know what the gauge is, and you don't know if this is clean. I can actually see some dust on this. So that's something you don't want to put on your skin, especially if you're going to be causing actual injury to your skin. You want to make sure that it's something that's sanitized and sterilized. So what I'm trying to say is this lacks information, which If you put on a skincare product, you want information from that skincare product. And I'm talking about like your creams and your serums. There are regulated ingredients and there's a reason for that. It's for safety. You want the same kind of regulation with a tool, and this is not regulated. You don't know the quality of the materials that were used to make this product. You don't know where it's been. You don't know if it was sitting in someone's weird basement collecting dust and whatever other kind of growth and then just wiped off or rinsed off and thrown into a package. You know nothing about this. You have no idea where this tool has been and if it's actually going to work for your skin, and worse, it could actually be harmful to your skin. Something else to keep in mind is you don't want hazardous material being put into your skin. Remember, you're causing little tiny holes into your skin. It's kind of like if you think about fertilizing grass. This is the analogy that I always use. So if you are fertilizing grass, you're gonna aerate it, you're gonna put little holes into it, and then you put the fertilizer over it. So it's the same kind of result that you're getting from a microneedling treatment. You're popping little holes into your skin. The two types of metal that should be used in that type of a treatment should either be surgical steel or titanium. Do we know what the material is on this? We don't. The other thing is that you cannot tell just by looking at this whether the needles are bent or not. You want to make sure that they're sharp and that they're not bent, because that can actually cause even more damage to your skin, and you don't want to cause unnecessary damage to your skin, because when you're getting a microneedling treatment at a professional's office, all of their tools are regulated and they make sure that they're not bent and they're not dull. They're exactly the way that they're supposed to be. And the other thing I want to point out is you're not supposed to reuse this all the time. If you get it done at a professional's office, they're using the needles one time and then they are tossing them. And it's the same way that they don't reuse, for instance, a needle. If they're giving you some type of an injection, it gets dull. So every time you're using your microneedling tool, it gets dull and it can then get bent. So even if it comes in perfect shape, it doesn't mean that you should use it over and over and over again. Even if you clean it the right way, it's really hard to say that it's going to be sanitary and it's not going to be damaged. Point number 3 is you need to have the proper technique, and if you are not a trained professional, you won't know how to do it. I know it seems easy enough, like you're just gonna roll this microneedling tool all over your face, but it's not that simple. There's a technique for each of the different tools that I see professionals use. Some of them go in a grid, some of them can go in a circle, but it depends on how the tool is made. And also these professionals have had trainings to use these devices. If you don't use the proper technique, you can cause scarring in your skin, you can cause inflammation and irritation that leads to hyperpigmentation. You can essentially make your skin worse. So you start the treatment thinking that you're gonna help your skin and make it look better, but instead you come out looking way worse, and it's harder to deal with that. You also don't wanna use a microneedle over active acne. You can cause the acne to get even more irritated. You could even spread bacteria that's causing the acne. So you definitely don't wanna use it if you have active acne. And then the other thing is, when it comes to the technique, that technique also, like I was saying earlier, has a lot to do with depth. There are areas on your skin that can handle more pressure, maybe even need more pressure to see results. And there are areas where you want to be very gentle and be very careful. So you have to know the technique. Another reason to avoid microneedling at home, and maybe the main reason, is that you are at high risk for an infection. I want you to remember, just because the needles don't hurt if you use them on your face, or because they're so small, doesn't mean they're not needles. You're still causing trauma to your skin, and when you're breaking your skin, you're opening it up to any type of outside bacteria or anything that can cause an infection and harm your skin. I see a lot of people, for instance, say that they sterilize their devices at home with alcohol, but you can't actually completely sterilize with the alcohol. Anytime that you go to a professional's office, the device that they use on you, the head that they're using, is a one-time use head. So they're gonna put it onto the device and then they're gonna take it off after they use it on you, and it's never going to get used again. And again, over time, every time you're using this, you are causing the needles to get duller and more blunt, and that can cause more tearing, that can cause bruising, that can cause more lines on your face, and just make your skin even more open to infections. And when I say infections, I actually want you to be scared. I'm not one of those people that likes to use any kind of fear mongering or anything like that. I don't want you to be scared when you're trying to take care of your skin. But when it comes to this, I want you to be scared. You can get infections that are like staph infections that become very, very bad for your skin. They can be dangerous, you know, the type of thing that can put you in the hospital. When I'm talking about infections, I mean, it could get really bad. You can get maybe a minor infection, it's not that bad. You can get an infection even just from squeezing your pimples. So think about what you're doing to your skin if you are causing lots of little injuries with needles, and you're just opening your face up to that. You're opening your skin up to so much infection that you need to care for properly. And that leads me to the next point, and that is using products that are not formulated to be used on injured skin, on compromised skin, which is what your skin is when you're using a microneedle. So think about that. What are you putting on after you get a microneedling treatment? If you go to a professional's office, they'll either use specific skincare products that have maybe stem cells in them or that have the right ingredients that should be used after you're doing a microneedling treatment. Sometimes they'll even use PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma, and that's spun out from your own blood. So they're using very specific types of products when you're at an office like that. But if you're at home, how do you know what you're putting on isn't going to cause an infection, clog your pores, or at the very least just irritate your skin? So many people use products that have fragrance, essential oils, lots of preservatives because they're necessary. When you're putting all of that stuff onto damaged or compromised skin, we talk about this. If you have a damaged skin barrier, you can cause irritation at the very least to your skin, and then that irritation leads to inflammation, and that inflammation leads to hyperpigmentation. There are just so many different issues that you can then cause to your skin after you've had a microneedling treatment. And this is kind of key because a lot of the time people are using a derma roller or microneedling treatment because the claims out there are that it helps your skincare products penetrate deeper into your skin. But that means that your skincare products can also be even more irritating to your skin. So you want to make sure that you're using the right products. Or you just want to skip it and not do this at home. And then on that note, if you're doing this treatment too much at home, then you might lead to too many micro tears that lead to too many micro scars that eventually make your skin look different. It just doesn't look right. I think the thing to keep in mind is that real skin, normal skin, has pores, it has texture to it, and it's not supposed to look so completely smooth that it doesn't look normal. And that is something that can happen to your skin over time if you are doing too many of these types of treatments that are just compromising your skin and injuring it. So when you are doing these types of intense treatments, you want to be under the care of a professional so they can also monitor how your skin is looking. So those are all the reasons why you shouldn't microneedle at home. Obviously, you guys are your own people, you are adults, you can do whatever you want, and you have access to cheap $5 Amazon derma roller tools. I guess what I'm saying is this is a petition to not do it. Step away from the microneedle, step away from your Amazon app or wherever else that you're gonna get one of these tools, and go see a professional. I know it's not cheap, but your skin is the only skin that you're gonna get, especially the skin on your face. You wanna be careful with it, and you don't want to do something that's gonna really compromise it. So just be careful. Know that if you do decide to do this at home, you're taking a really big risk that could have permanent damage. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, if you've had any experience with microneedling at home. I know that you're gonna see people that say they swear by it and they love it and they do it all the time, but it only takes that one time. It only takes you being that one person, that one time, to have some kind of an issue with it. So just be careful is all I'm saying. Find me on Instagram, I'm at Susan Yara. I'm gonna stop being a nanny now. You guys got all the information, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.